All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of the Grim Wiz Project, where my co host over here, the
How you guys
Reaper,
doing?
the Reaper of Death over here, Grim underscore Reaper 91,
Yep.
and myself, Mr. Whiskers. Grim, how you doing, bro?
I'm all right.
Mm.
I'm all right.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. We got a lot of things that we got to talk about tonight, bro.
Yeah, we do.
A lot of discussion on the table. Now I know, some people out there that have been watching our podcast, our Grim and Wiz project.
Yep.
I know we talked about how we were going to do, one of the next episodes was going to be our final review of Silent Hill F once we've both completed it. And I know that right now you're still working on that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I know I'm taking too long. I know, but for me, it's gotten to the point where the game is just ultimately stressing me out far more than I thought it would, due to the fact that unfortunately, we're just strictly using melee weapons, but uh, we we have to fix them when they break, and it's just for me it's just for me personally, it's just too stressful right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's it's all good, man. I trust me. I know the feeling. I've you know, one of the things that we're still going to do that episode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and of course, like once you finish the first playthrough,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, that's when you can expect that episode. But we did come across as some of as some of you might have seen now, and we're definitely gonna showcase this this evening. Um, is we're gonna dive into Resident Evil Requiem tonight
yeah.
because this is a good time to talk about this while it's still fresh out there on the internet, and good little episode in between before we get into our Silent Hill F um, full review and thoughts and comments on that. So we're still going to be doing that, but
Yes.
for this evening, right, Grim, there is quite a bit to talk about in terms of Resident Evil Requiem, and that comes out February 27th. How many weeks away are we from that now, bro?
uh about 8.5, give or take.
8.5 weeks, and Capcom, you know, has revealed. And here's where things get really fucking interesting. All that talk, and even Capcom said it themselves that Leon S. Kennedy was not going to be in the game.
Yeah.
And now here we are with this trailer. Spoiler alert: Leon's in the game.
Yeah, they bullshit us.
Oh, they just threw the line out there and they said, "Oh yeah, no, yeah, no, Leon's not in the game." I gotta say, it is great marketing in that sense, like to a degree, to a degree,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Because I feel this is my feels on this. I
All right.
feel that this is, and I do want to hear your take on this as well. Is I feel like this was it was kind of weak in a way. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm excited that we are so close to Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and I think that the you know Leon coming back, and I love the look of Leon in this, but I don't I don't like the misdirection there. I feel like that's where I feel like it was a little weak because it kind of gave me hope that we were going to see other characters, other survivors from Raccoon City come back. I thought like, it gave me that kind of hope, that like, okay, well, if Leon's not going to be in the game, we can scratch that off the table and, push that off the table and we can look at some of the other survivors of the Raccoon City incident,
Yeah,
and like what were some characters that you were hoping to see?
I wouldn't have minded seeing Claire again.
Mm,
You know, as long as Stephanie came back to voice her, of course.
right, right,
Yeah,
and like
but
I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh no. Sorry, go ahead.
Mm. Like one of I was definitely hoping for when we think back to Raccoon City, and especially with this game, the focal points from the first trailer, Grace Ashcroft, Alyssa Ashcroft from
Hmm.
you know Outbreak.
Yeah,
There was a big part of me there that was thinking, okay, maybe we see Jim again, maybe we see Mark, maybe we see Kevin, some of the other survivors, right? Now,
sure.
granted that I haven't beaten File 2. Excuse me. Nor have I gotten my hands on a copy of it. It's very hard to find these days. So I don't know how that story goes, but I do know how the playthrough I went through on Resident Evil Outbreak, like those survivors there. You'd think that. Well, I thought that maybe it opened up the table for some of them to be in there, and going back to like you said, Claire. What
Yeah,
there's Carlos. Um, of course we have Leon, we have Jill, and even in Resident Evil Nemesis, like Barry made a little cameo appearance there, like pushing. When Capcom was like, "Oh yeah, no, Leon's not going to be in it," I was expecting like okay, maybe we get one of these characters that we haven't seen in a while.
hmm
So it was definitely. I just feel like that like twist right there. Oh yeah, no, Leon. We're not gonna bring Leon in because he's not the kind of character that would spook at the drop of a bucket or something. And then now, no, nope, he's here. Like, how what are some of your thoughts on this? Are you excited about Leon coming back? Are you disappointed? Were you hoping for something different? Like you want to dive into this a little bit?
Well, I mean, it's for me, it's a mix of both because I mean, as long as Nick comes back to voice him, as long as Nick is voicing him again, like he did in 2 and 4's remakes, I'm content. But ultimately, it kind of bugs me that they brought him back because he's to me in my eye to me he's been overly used.
Mm.
Now, granted, I'll admit, yeah, okay, he hasn't been in a main entry since 2012. I understand that. I can I can get behind that. I understand that, but obviously they did Resident Evil 2's remake. Then you fast forward, what was it, 4 years later they did Resident Evil 4's, right? And now he's back again for the I don't know, like the what, ninth or 10th time. total. I mean, come on now. I mean, but like I said, obviously I accept it. It's cool seeing him again, you know. And like I said, as long as Nick is voicing him again, I'm totally content. And it's just, you know, a recent thing I seen. Well, when I first saw the trailer for Requiem, revealing Leon, I'm like, okay, you know, this kicks ass and whatnot. And I actually seen something um, from Gaming Bolt on YouTube earlier today, and uh, in that in that video, the guy narrating it said that Grace's part of it, part of the game is going to be more survival horror and whatnot, but Leon's is going to be more action oriented.
Yeah, no, you know, I took the same kind of, you know, how I took, excuse me, how I took the trailer in.
Yeah,
Um, you know, because when we first saw some, you know, some gameplay, some demos that you know, other content creators have released. You know, like I know Balk Soup had released some content as well. You know, he's one of the guys that are in the mix right there. Also, really cool. I don't know if you saw this, bro. He was also in just recently it posted. He's in one of the commercials where you know the voice actress for Lady Dimitrescu.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You know, he was you know he's part of that you know that you know, commercial, you know, you want to call it that. Um, and I mean that like it really is a really good one. Definitely check that shit out. It was really cool seeing Balk Soup in there, and you know, and
cool.
again seeing the voice actress of Lady Dimitrescu and like the whole nine. It was really fucking cool. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, seeing let's get into right now. Leon coming back, I do agree with what you're saying. Is like you know oversaturated a bit. You know I do feel that you know a lot of these characters, you know you know Leon especially, you know is getting a lot of screen time here, and I'm like under this idea that like okay, well he's like you know he's one of like you know he's become one of the golden children here,
mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
know, which to me is also kind of interesting because like when you think about how Resident Evil started, like who are the main characters there? It was Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, and we didn't see Leon until the second game, and of course the second game made incredible improvements from the first game, and we see a rookie cop go from the OG RE2 now, you know, like you were saying, RE2 remake, RE4 remake, Resident Evil 6, not to mention the numerous CGIs like
mm-hmm.
movies and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and I mean I feel like we've seen Leon the most even out of Chris Redfield, because we saw Chris in one, we saw him in the HD remaster, right? So still one.
yeah,
We saw him in five,
mm-hmm. We did.
saw him in six.
Yeah,
There was a brief moment we saw him in seven, and then like you know we talked about he had a DLC in there as well, and then
we
you got
did.
to play for him for about like 20 minutes in Village,
Yeah,
like during the main campaign, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah, yep.
And you know you know it ends there after Village. which I find interesting because, like, out of all the main characters here,
Mhm.
from the first one, like Leon is definitely getting more screen time than any of the other characters. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, I'm still, I don't know, I'm still trying to process that. And like I said, I don't mean to have a stick up my ass over it, but it's like, I don't know. It's just strange to me. I'm like, okay, where's everyone else? I have, obviously, we haven't seen anyone else since, a handful of these remakes that they did.
Yeah, and again, like I'm not trying to play both sides here. Like I am
No.
excited for this. Like
Oh,
regardless
yeah.
of
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Absolutely.
I had hopes for just even seeing Carlos come back. Even like I'm wearing my Jill RE3 remake shirt right now. Like even a Jill Valentine appearance or something. And who's to say they don't show up, make a cameo or a radio call or some shit like that? Like who
Yeah.
knows? Because again, Capcom said that Leon wasn't going to be there. He's there. This is you don't know what to believe anymore. It's definitely they're doing a hell of a job of keeping us on our toes. But like at the same time, I'm feeling frustrated a bit
Yeah.
because, like I said before, like okay, he's not going to be there. They gave great reason why he wouldn't be in this one, and I had high hopes that we'd be seeing some familiar faces we haven't seen in a long time. And that's basically the gist of where I'm getting at. There is I was really hoping for, you know, and just to even see some of the Outbreak characters come back in some way, shape, or form. Now, granted, we don't even know if they could show up in some way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
but from
You
some
know.
of the things that you were telling me about that you researched in terms of gameplay, it's going to be interesting. I think we should dive into that a little bit.
Uh, well, let's see here.
In terms of storyline, it's going to be interesting because how often we're going to get to play as each character, and I know you did a little research on that. You want to dive into that a little bit?
Yeah. They um the the narrator from the Gaming Bolt's video that I watched, he kept, for some reason, I mean, don't take my word for this, okay? Don't take this as solid gold, okay? Right this second. But he kept, I don't know why, but he kept like directly or casually bringing up mercenaries again.
Oh wait, what?
Now, I don't know if they're bringing mercenaries back. So again, I don't want anyone taking my word as as solid gold right this second. But yeah, from based on the video by Gaming Bolt that I seen earlier today, the person narrating it kept, I don't know why, but he mentioned mercenaries like 3 or 4 different times. Now,
Interesting.
so I don't know. I don't know for sure if they'll bring mercenaries into Requiem. I mean, hey, if they do, that's kick ass. That's, for me personally, that's one of my favorite game modes to play. That's why I love playing Resident Evil 3 Nemesis so much, Resident Evil 5 and 6, and so on and so forth. Not so much Village. Not so much Village.
until you
I
got
have
until you got Lady Demetresque, right?
genuinely, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm genuinely not trying to be funny, but yes, after getting her with the DLC, it 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 was a lot easier to platinum on the PS5 than the PS4 version.
Mm.
I mean, granted, I did get the PS4 version's platinum, but I did it without having Lady Dimitrescu at the time. But yes, based on what Gaming Bolt said in their video, there's a I mean, I want to say that they may bring mercenaries back, but again, don't take my word for it right now.
Hey, Grim. We're just a
Yeah,
couple of gamer nerds over here talking about something we're excited about. Listen,
yeah,
we listen. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we're just expressing our thoughts and feelings and opinions on this, and trying to be as informative as we can. Like Grim, you, don't worry about being the 411 guy right now. Listen, if we're wrong on, I mean, shit, I've been wrong on a lot of things coming into this.
yeah,
Um, there's nothing wrong, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's this Grim and Wiz project. This is
right.
our thought, whether we're accurate or not. We're talking about how we feel about this, and so if they bring mercenaries back, you'll genuinely be excited from what I'm gathering right now, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Now I know when you and I last spoke, um, we were talking about how we've seen demos of playing as Grace, and
yeah,
now Leon has been introduced,
right.
and we've seen some gameplay from him.
Yeah,
And now I remember the conversation like, oh, well, how like is this going to be like a Resident Evil 8 Village where you're basically playing as Ethan the entire time, and you play like maybe like it's like 15%, 20% of the game you're playing as Chris.
uh, real quick. I mean, I don't mean to take the reins from you, but
Take him.
after you just bringing that up, it's funny you bring that up because I actually stumbled across an article while skimming through Google the other day. It basically said, I mean, I didn't fully read the article, but based off the headline and like a little bit of the article itself, basically said that they're going to have an equal amount of screen time, essentially 50-50.
Yeah.
So
That's what I wanted. That's the bread and butter I wanted to get into there. That 50-50. Like
yeah,
if that's the case, which according to this art, where did you find this article in case anybody is interested in checking this out as well?
I didn't look it up on purpose. I was just skimming through Google, like through my phone, like my Google Chrome or whatever.
Yeah.
I click on it to look stuff up, and then there's a variety of random articles from a variety of websites. And one of the things that popped was talking about, well, the headline talking about how Grace and Leon are going to have an equal amount of screen time. But unfortunately, I did not read very deeply into the article, so I don't know. I mean, just based off the headline alone, it's basically being strongly implied or flat out said that they're going to have an equal amount of screen time. So, but so I don't know if we'll be. I mean, so based on that, I'm assuming we'll be switching between the two off and on.
Which I mean, that'd be pretty fucking cool. You
Right.
know, I mean, even one of the things like with Resident Evil 8 Village, like we had a brief moment where like you're going through it as Chris, and you got all these cool weapons and this cool knife, and
Yeah.
it was short lived, right? And then, I think that I think this is this should really be very interesting because again, like bringing back up the over the shoulder playthrough and
Mm-hmm.
the first person playthrough, um, which before we knew that Leon was coming out in this game, you know, I remember the developers talking about how they specifically wanted you to play as Grace, um, in first person.
Yeah.
Like, the direction that they were going in was they wanted you to play as Grace in first person and,
Yeah.
on the other side in third person. And so now, as the pieces have come together, like, yeah, playing as Leon, as we've seen in Resident Evil 4 Remake, how much fun it's been playing as him and these sneak attacks and things like that, that you could pull off in RE4 Remake.
Right.
Just going into it, like, I could see why they, bringing like an Ethan Winters kind of feel to Grace in first person to give that level of fear, and then coming over to this action side with Leon, who is, at this point he's no rookie cop anymore.
No, he's not.
Now he's a grizzled veteran at this point.
Yeah, he is.
Mm.
He's got gray in his beard now.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I got a little gray in my beard, I mean, hell, I think at this point, he's probably like, what, 50 something years old?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Based on some comparisons, he's apparently 51 now. So,
51. Yeah. So he's the Tony Hawk of Resident Evil. He's still going.
yeah, after shit, I don't know, 20, 27, 28 years.
Yeah. Long ass time.
Yeah,
Well,
he's a seasoned cop now.
we're gonna do something for you, ladies and gentlemen. Um, on this side now. So before we go forward, we are doing this. We're doing this project from two different sides. So you're seeing it from the way I have it set up, and Grim has it set up on his angle. But one of the things that we're gonna do over here, and Grim,
Yeah,
I don't know if are you able to do it over on that end too, to go over the trailer.
I can. I might be able to. I can try. Here, let me hang on. Let me see.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. As Grim's doing that, we're gonna, also pay some
Let's see how
respects
well
to.
it'll load, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna pay some respects to, because Grim, you were telling me I didn't know about this, but just recently we lost one of the voice actors within the Resident Evil franchise. Played the original Krauser.
Yeah.
Grim, you want to, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. Unfortunately, on December 10th, so just 3 days ago, in fact, James Ward, the original voice actor of Jack Krauser, passed away. He was only 66 years old. So if I could, I'd like a moment of silence for the OG Krauser.
Yeah, man. 1959 to 2025.
Yeah.
I didn't. I'll be honest with you, man. I did. I didn't even realize he was that old. Like,
I
not
didn't.
saying that in like any negative aspect, but like, just the way he voiced Krauser. Like
Right.
even back then, like when he did that, he was what, in his 40s.
Yeah, 45 or 46.
You know,
So yeah. He was in his mid 40s when he did Jack.
but yeah, rest in peace, Jim Ward. You brought a character to life, gave him a personality, brought a lot of excitement to the screen, and definitely changed. Resident Evil 4, the OG, definitely changed the way Resident Evil was prior,
Yeah.
and just created an incredible experience and brought back a lot of fun to the RE fan base.
Yeah.
Rest in peace,
Rest easy.
comrade.
Rest easy.
All right, man. So
All right.
here
Now,
is the
all right. Now,
trailer. What's
all
up,
right.
brother?
Which one did you want? Which one are you going to look at? The one from IGN, one from Resident Evil.
Well, I see this one from PlayStation that was 2 days ago.
One from PlayStation from 2 days ago. Oh, what did you search in YouTube?
Resident Evil Requiem.
Yeah, right.
And this is the third trailer, PS5 games. Well, he's bringing up. I'm just going to pause it real
Oh,
quick.
okay. All right. All right. I found it. 3 minutes and 25 seconds.
Yeah, well, mine's 3 minutes and 27, so it's got to be like basically the same thing.
All right. I gotta just. Oh, okay. All right. It's. Oh shit. All right. It's. All right. YouTube's loading for me right now. It's gonna take a second.
All right, that's good. Actually, because I got to use the bathroom anyways, so I'll be right back, bro.
All right.
I'll be right back. All right. How we doing, Grim?
We're good. I found it. I got the video paused. I'm just waiting for you.
All right, give me a 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, play.
Hello?
It hasn't been easy. But after much effort, here we finally are.
Who are you?
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
Talk to me. Is this one like the others? And it's not post-mortem lividity. Hey, I just got a report of a missing police officer. It might be unrelated, but he disappeared near where the 5th body was found.
Through you, Elpis can finally be set free.
The team has settled on a person of interest. Someone with ties to Umbrella. Victor Gideon.
Grace! Grace!
Victor purchased a building after Umbrella went under. I'll send you the address.
Welcome. Dr. Gideon has been expecting you.
You there, Leon?
There he is.
Yeah. Hey, over here. FBI, what are you doing here?
Would you like to see what's hidden under the hood?
Don't do anything stupid.
Me? Never. Think I want a second opinion.
Damn.
Right?
Yeah.
Told you about the chainsaw, bro.
Yeah.
And the axe.
Yeah.
So mind you, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen this trailer. I'm sure, any Resident Evil fans out there, that got this before we did, have seen that as well. Of course, obviously. But now it kind of, it brings into the conversation now. Melee weapons are going to be in the game. You saw the axe there. You saw the chainsaw. You saw the move right there that he just came down.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think, like, from the mechanics that we saw in Resident Evil 4 Remake with the sneak attacks, right? That we're gonna, we're gonna see far more mechanics within Resident Evil 9 Requiem here.
Right.
I imagine that, like, if you shoot an enemy in the face with a chainsaw, that there'd be an opportunity for you to grab that chainsaw and take that enemy down.
Yeah.
Could be a crit shot kind of thing that you need to pull off. Now here's where it gets really interesting is, so if there are melee, there's going to be melee weapons. There's always a knife in Resident Evil games, right? But if there's an axe and things like that,
Right.
I'm curious as to, like, what the durability is. Is it going to be like the older games where it's like, it's just an infinite weapon or a one, or is it going to be like a one use time kind of deal?
I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a lot to unload right there because, like, again, that trailer was pretty fucking awesome, right? Now, granted, I know we started this show with, we wanted to see other Resident Evil characters, and
Yeah.
again, Capcom just fucking throwing us all over the place here. Leon looks good, though. He looks good.
Yeah. And it was kind of hard to tell with the music over it, but it really, I'm pretty confident at this point that they brought Nick back to do Leon again.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think, you know what?
With that.
If Leon is 51 in this game, and he's got that little gray hair, that motherfucker found the fountain of youth, and I need to know where it is, all right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, dude. Listen. We're having fun over here, but listen, I'm fucking 38. I got way more gray hairs at fucking 38 than Leon does. Like he's either using, metformin or something, or like he's using something. I don't even think metformin is I don't even think that was the right thing right there. Grecian formula, whatever the fuck it is. He's rocking a full head of hair. He's got a little bit of gray in his beard. You can tell he's aged a bit. But you would think with everything that he's been through, he'd have a lot more grace. He found the fountain of youth. It's called Capcom. It's called the video game world.
Yeah.
All kidding aside here. No, fuck that. I'm gonna keep kidding around here. Hold on a second. So that was that was one of the things right there is that Leon he just ages so well.
He does.
How do you handle that amount of stress? And he's just got a couple of, like, damn, I got to know what his fucking routine is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guarantee he's not eating fucking cheeseburgers and shit like that. Like, like me over here. He's got to be on the Tom Brady diet.
Probably.
Well, yeah. So now that is that the first time that you've seen the melee come into play?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me how you feel about this. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me, as you're taking this in for the first time. What are some of your feelings? What are some of your concerns?
I'm looking forward to it. Save me a lot of ammo.
Okay.
I mean, because I remember using Leon's melee when I played the Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries. Using his melee attacks and kicks and so on saved me a lot of ammo. Now, obviously, I had to shoot the enemies in the face or the leg to, disorient them or whatever, but it saved me a lot of ammo. And it's going to do the same here.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be events where, like you said, like the kneecap, you shoot at the face.
Yeah.
That's where that's what I'm gathering as well, is like, we're going to be able to pull off some of those moves. I'm very curious as to what the other kind of mechanics, because like as we've seen in previous titles, like, like again, bringing back like Resident Evil 3 remake. We'll bring that up for a second. The dodge mechanic, how they made it something that you could do frequently.
Yeah. As long as you did the button press in the right time, you can do it practically infinitely.
And even like the perfect dodge, if you time it just right, bam, you get that bad boy in, and then you get that little slow motion animation. It kind of makes me think about, like, I wonder how they're gonna do the mechanics in Resident Evil Requiem here in terms of playing as Leon. Like, are we gonna have a dodge mechanic possibly? Because like we know that the RE engine, and we know that Capcom and all of that is, it is a possibility.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
And if we're going to utilize Leon's capabilities, I mean, think about this. We're going from a rookie cop back in RE2. And like, if we're going to just talk about, let's just talk about like the remake status of Leon. RE2, you had, you could parry, you could fucking, enemy grabs you. You could use a knife. That was something that wasn't in the OG, right?
No.
Now we move up to RE4 remake. Stealth attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Go into RE6. There's some QTE. Quick time events right there.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Now we're seeing Leon in Resident Evil Requiem. What if they combined all of that shit, dude? Like, what if Leon has a dodge that we don't know about?
Mm-hmm.
We saw a little bit. We saw a snippet right there, right? What if he's got a little dodge move, a little counter, a little stealth, a little all of the above, and you could put them all together?
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Like, I'll paint the picture for you, right? Because I can only imagine that the enemies in Resident Evil Requiem, they're not going to act quite like the enemies in previous games. And what I mean by that is, let's go back to RE2 Remake, right? Mr. X, he was slow moving. He could, he'd teleport on you, right?
Yeah.
Then we go into RE3 Remake, and Nemesis, he sprinted at you.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure did. Yeah.
Going to RE4 Remake, the spawning of enemies and just like, how they place themselves, especially on a casual playthrough, it became alarming. And then you had, the sneak attack and things like that. Like, this new monster that we're facing, what did you say that you saw the current name for this monster is?
Yeah, something like Mama Monster or some shit.
I'm sure we're gonna I'm sure that she's gonna get her own name at some point from the RE community. I'm sure we'll give her like a, or maybe there's a file or something that gives her, like right now it's Mama Monster.
Yeah.
Like, it is going to be quite the adventure. Because
Absolutely.
you got to imagine, right, Grim? The
Yeah.
mechanics for both Grace and Leon are going to be different.
They are.
I can't imagine them being the same. It wouldn't make sense if they were the same, because Leon has been on the field for a long ass time.
Yeah.
He's skilled in all kinds of combat.
He is.
Grace is a very timid kind of FBI. She's not a field agent. She is now. So, I've even heard things such as if you play as Grace in third person, like she stumbles a little bit more. Have you heard this?
Yeah. Yeah. I've even seen it in footage. Her stumbling. Yeah.
What do you remember what videos you saw this on? Just to,
It was the demo that people played way back in the game, like a game con type event months ago.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to check that out, look at the Grace being played in third person. In because I've seen these demos as well, and in first person it seems like she's a little bit more fluent with her motions, a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
And that's actually something I kind of like, now that we're talking about it, I kind of want to get into that as well. I kind of like that. I liked what Capcom did there. Because like we talked about earlier, they expressly said they wanted you to play as Grace. Like, the idea is to play as Grace in first person, and this other protagonist, as we know now, is Leon, to play in third person, to get the real effect of the real idea of what they're going with here. Like you were talking about, like the fear and the action.
Yeah.
So, the fear aspect of this game is obviously, I guess obviously is not a good word, but it seems like it's going to be the main fear part of this game is going to be through Grace. I'm willing to bet there's going to be jump scares with Leon too.
Possibly.
And, we'll see that in third person. I imagine, again, the QTEs and things are going to come into place. If there are QTEs.
Right.
What are some of the things, Grim, that you, like, what are some expectations? What are some things that you're hoping for? Now, with all the information, we have 3 trailers out. What are from what you've seen as of right now, what are some hopes, some expectations, some thoughts? What are some things that you want to add to the table?
Oh man, okay. All right, here comes the trophy hunter in me.
There we go.
Oh man, this is going to be, for me personally, this is going to be an interesting game to platinum, because I have a gut feeling based on past Resident Evils, not all of them, but a good portion of them now have a speedrun related trophy in them. Now, granted, thankfully, Resident Evil 5 and 6 did not. which personally I'm grateful for. But the later ones did 7 and 8 and so on and so forth, and then obviously the remakes. But with this new entry, I have my internal instinct is telling me that they're gonna have a speedrun related trophy, which is going to kind of irritate me if it comes out that it's true. Like I said, I don't know. They obviously haven't released the trophy list yet. They're not going to until I'm assuming either sometime in January or the month of release. But I mean, so overall, I'm curious to know how they're going to go about the trophy list. You know, and obviously, I'm sure they're going to have a variety of trophies for Grace's scenario and the Leon's, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like seeing as how Grace's part of the game is going to be more stealth oriented. I can personally get behind that because I'm fond of like stealth games and stuff like Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell and stuff like that. So I will probably also go into like stealth mode. I'll have that stealth mentality and things like that. So I mean, I'm really looking forward to doing playing Grace's side of the campaign in a more stealth way than Leon's. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, I'll do that with Leon also if I can help it, but knowing me, I don't know. I'm gonna want to just shred everyone as Leon, to be honest with you. But I am kind of curious to know, though. I'm like, okay, then well, wait a minute, then okay. So so what? Are we to assume that we're gonna play as Grace at first, and then a little ways in, then switch to Leon, or are we gonna start with Leon first and then play Grace? You know what I mean?
I imagine it'll be starting with Grace.
Right.
I mean, just off the bat from the trailers that were released, I feel like the storyline behind Grace is going to be more prevalent, and Leon is there as pardon me. Leon is there as somebody that is very familiar with these scenarios and to help Grace, kind of get through this. He survived Raccoon City. Now coming back to it, I imagine that we're going to, I'm almost 100% certain that the game is going to start. We're starting as Grace.
Yeah.
You don't open up the first trailer with Grace just to, sit there and tease about Leon not being in it, and then he comes into it, and then just to make him like the star of the show. I don't think he's going to be the star of the show. I think he is more of the kind of player, that is there as, we've talked about in previous episode. He knows Raccoon City. He's been there. He's gone through it. He survived it. He's done the job. He did it as a rookie cop. And from there and all the other things that Leon has gone through.
Mm-hmm.
To start as Leon would be like completely ridiculous.
I'll laugh if that's what happens.
I don't see it going that way. I am interested in your idea of that, if it is going to be split 50-50, if we see, is it going to be like first half of the game, you're playing as Grace. Second half of the game, you're playing as Leon. I like your idea there is that you're going to dive back and forth between characters. You might play the first 25% as Grace. Then we're going to dive into playing as Leon for 25% of the game, and then go back to Grace, and then maybe even have a combination of the two, because I saw that in the trailer as well. Them meeting up,
Right.
which also has kind of sparked a question in my brain right now.
Yeah.
Since Grace is kind of the, she's not a field agent, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see a Leon Ashley scenario in this game? Only it'll be Leon and Grace. Like, you have to walk Grace through certain areas and protect her.
Probably.
Right? Because I'm starting, like, the more and more I think about it, like, if Capcom is setting this up the way they're setting it up, and they said like, Grace, she's not a field agent. She's, she spooks easily.
Right.
There's room for character development there. And now you have a character that is grizzled, that is fucking, he's been through the woods. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. He's been through the woods. He's seen some shit. And he's protected the president's daughter.
Yeah.
I could definitely imagine a situation where he's got to protect Grace for a minute.
You're right. But I mean, based on some digging I'm doing, but I'm doing it on my phone because unfortunately, my doing research on my computer while recording our podcast, it loads pages too slowly.
No, that's fine. That's fine, dude, man. You can do it the way that works best for you, brother.
All right. Well, okay. Based on some internal research that I'm doing as we're talking, okay. Some key details are it's gonna because I specifically Googled Resident Evil Requiem, Leon, and Grace like screen time, and some key details are it's going to be equally split. The gameplay sections are almost evenly divided between Leon and Grace, so it's going to be like you said, like 50-50 and so on and so forth. Grace's sections are obviously going to be focused on survival horror, while Leon's offer an action-packed power fantasy, like a cold bath after a hot sauna, quote unquote. Character arcs, the dual perspectives aim to blend slow, tense moments with fast-paced action, offering a unique rhythm. And regarding Leon's role, he's a fully playable protagonist, essentially concluding his current story arc with new abilities and a more experienced badass persona. So I don't know if that's implying that this is essentially going to be his last ride or what. I have no idea.
I imagine that, I mean, I thought RE6 was going to be Leon's last ride.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But he's back, and you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a sports cast tonight. Now that I think about this, little comparison here.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Leon Kennedy is he's like that retired quarterback, right?
Yeah.
He's still got something to prove. He's still got a job to do. He's got a little Tom Brady-esque going on there, right?
Yeah.
You know, because he's coming into the He's coming into the picture. 51 years old. Little Tom Brady, little Tony Hawk.
Right.
Just kind of one of those guys that, you don't know when to put it down. You can't put it down because the job ain't done yet. You know? You remember at the end of Resident Evil 2? He goes, I forgot what he said, but it was along the lines of, we got to take down Umbrella. Well, Umbrella over here, it's clearly its roots have spread.
Yeah.
We're back in Raccoon City. Raccoon fucking City, ladies and gentlemen. Grim.
Yeah.
We're going back to where it all started. Now, I know some people might sit there, no, it started in the Arklay Mountains. Yeah. Outskirts of Raccoon City. Outskirts. It all happened within Raccoon.
Mm-hmm. It did.
I cannot wait. It's 8.5 weeks away. I cannot wait for this game. I know. We've shared our thoughts here tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've shared our thoughts here. Our thoughts on Leon coming back. Thoughts of Grace.
Yeah.
Thoughts of Resident Evil in general. Capcom as well. And here is another thing that we want to share with you guys. Grim, we talked about the PlayStation Store. Remember that leak happened?
Yeah.
And when that leak happened, it was like, oh, how does that happen? I feel like that happens on purpose.
Yeah.
But, again, this is my thoughts.
Right.
But as we come closer to February 27th, you want this game to continue to be relevant. Granted, if the leak was on purpose to keep the game relevant, I don't think you need to do that because we're all thinking about this shit. We're all thinking about this. We're all, as RE fans, we're all excited.
Yeah, I think had that leak not been released, it would have been an even bigger surprise at the Game Awards of the legitimate reveal.
Ooh.
So I think it was a mistake, them conveniently leaking that shit.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Right? Because, you imagine that they don't show Leon at all.
No.
I like where you're coming from here.
Right.
Yeah. all of a sudden, screen goes black. You've been playing as Grace the whole time. Then you get Hunnigan coming through the radio. You don't know it's her.
Yeah. I don't know, because I mean,
You remember the voice. You're like, ooh, that sounds familiar.
yeah,
And then you get the footstep out of the car. And then it pans to Leon and he talks. Like, yeah, no, I'm fucking with you on that.
right.
Like, they could have kept that from us the whole time. Like, yeah, they could have lied to us the whole time and just said, hey, Leon's not going to be in the game.
Yeah, they could have.
Just talk about it like, that would have been a holy shit moment. Could you imagine playing this for the first time and then all of a sudden? I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd be pausing the game on live stream, just fucking. I gotta walk away. I gotta take a minute.
Yeah. I mean, believe it or not, that despite Black Ops 6's like hate and shit, I as soon as I started playing the campaign of that, I'm playing through a chunk of the campaign, and then it does this cutscene and it fucking shows Lou Diamond Phillips. And I was like, no way.
See? That shock reality there.
Yeah. But yeah, ultimately, yeah, it would have been a more effective strategy just to wait it out. Wait until the Game Awards to reveal it, or fucking wait until it releases and then people are playing it, and like you just said, you're playing like the first chunk or like a quarter of it as Grace, and then it switches to Leon, and you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah, because we already knew that there was going to be another protagonist.
Yeah.
We didn't know who it was going to be.
True.
And so, like, you could have hid Leon so much further into this.
Yeah.
And then really just fucking. Like, again, I get there's a marketing aspect to this, but like, as a gamer sitting there, like, think about the first time you played Resident Evil 7 and the helicopter, and then bam, name's Redfield. You were like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's the kind of like holy shit that I'm looking for right there.
Right.
Get fucking Leon stepping out. You're mid game. You're invested in the story, and then next thing you know, now we know he's in the game. Surprise, motherfuckers! It's over.
Exactly. Hey, real quick though, I wanna rewind back to when you were talking about the radio transmission. I don't know, because both times I listened to it, and especially after watching Gaming Bolt's recent video about this, it's not. I mean, knowing me, I'm probably wrong here, but it sounded a lot like Sherry, didn't it?
A little bit.
I mean, hey, she became an agent in Resident Evil 6.
Could be that little cameo right there, that little surprise. Could be. It could be, dude. You imagine?
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Who knows? It could be, yeah. It could be Hunnigan coming back, or it could be Sherry coming back. But based on the voice, it sounded a lot more like Sherry.
I know that did not sound like Hunnigan to me. Then
No.
again, I am practically deaf in one ear, but it did not sound like Hunnigan. That was. Unless they have a new voice actress for Hunnigan,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be very, very interesting. I think that at the end of the day, they revealed like the big name drop right there in the beginning of this whole story. Grace Ashcroft, Alyssa Ashcroft, and now they dropped Leon. I mean, when we look up the term requiem, excuse me. Requiem. Pardon me. Let's see. What does requiem mean? A mass, service, or musical composition for the dead. Originating from the Latin mass for the deceased, with the word itself meaning rest or repose.
Right.
Kind of makes you think there. Could this be the end of Resident Evil?
Yes, I hope not.
I mean, we're talking about 30 years of Resident Evil. Come 2026.
Right.
Could this be the end of a franchise?
No, it better not be.
I mean,
Especially if Capcom's working on a shitload of remakes.
yeah, well, here's the thing. Remakes, I'm talking about storyline.
Yeah, I don't know.
Remakes, you could do remakes all day. It's just,
yeah,
you're keeping that particular storyline alive. I'm talking about the end of a franchise here where, I mean, think about it. They kind of did that with Metal Gear Solid. Now we are going back to where the incident started. I wouldn't be surprised if the Arklay Mountains were mentioned in this game.
it could be. If not vocally mentioned, they could be brought up in like files and shit.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, this is all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is our farewell. We've done all these things with Resident Evil. And 30 years into this, this is how we end this. Yeah. That's a lot to take in right there.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. If Resident Evil Requiem sells well enough, and who knows, they might be able to suddenly pull something out of their ass to keep it going. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, I was talking with Papa K about this on the Sportscast earlier, right? And as a quarterback, Like for instance, the Indianapolis Colts just bought Phillip Rivers out of retirement. Hasn't played in 5 years. Brought him out of retirement, right?
Yeah.
What I'm getting at here is when does the story end? Because everything comes to an end at some point. At some point, it cannot be infinite. The story ends somewhere. And if we're going back to the beginning, where they want to put an end to Umbrella's sinister motives and things like that, I mean, 30 years of Resident Evil. What if this is the last Resident Evil game that we see? What if this is the end to the story that they started? This is the final chapter.
I have no idea.
No, it's not ideas. It's like, it's an idea from me here. Like, could you imagine, right? The feels. I could see I could see the feels from you right now. Dude, you and I played this game. We were like fucking kids.
Yeah.
Now we're adults. Like that emotional attachment to this franchise. Could you I can imagine it, dude.
Yep.
Like, I could see it. I could see it. And honestly, I would not be upset as long as the farewell was done they gave it justice, They did it, they crafted it, they put it together perfectly.
Right.
Give us that much. If this is going to be the last Resident Evil game, bring back a little bit of everybody. Like you have to. If they don't do that, then there's no way that this franchise is over.
Right.
But just looking that up right now, it's sparking some thoughts.
Right.
A mass service for the dead.
Yeah.
The word itself meaning rest. Like, are we talking about putting this to rest? I don't know. We're going to have to find out come February 27th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brother, that's all I got to add to this. You got anything else you want to throw in there?
No. I've said all there is to say for right now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, these are our thoughts right here. This is the Grim Wiz Project, and we're talking about basically what we do is we come in here, we talk about our thoughts on video games that we love, franchises that we love. We're just sharing our thoughts and opinions, ideas, and things like that. Feel free to comment and make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Grim, as always, it's always a pleasure hanging out and shooting the shit with you, and
too, man.
having these conversations. And let us know what your thoughts are on the matter as well. If you have any ideas on how you think that this is going to unfold, put it in the comment section.
Yeah, I'm curious, and I'm genuinely curious to know how they will end this franchise. But I don't know why, but for some reason, my internal instincts is telling me that they're not gonna end this just yet.
All right. You heard it from Grim over there. Ladies and gentlemen, take care. We'll catch you guys soon. And we'll be back with another episode before you know it. So take care, everybody. Take it easy, man. Grim.
See you guys in the next episode.
Let's go. Let's go. Grim, love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
All right. Peace.
Peace.